like for Minnesota here, we're having Blaine Brenner, a redshirt sophomore.
Yeah. And for Morgan State, you have Jake Marsh, who had probably one of our more exciting matches from the last duel with George Mason. Losing probably in the last 20 seconds on a last-minute takedown.
Yeah, he's got some funky hips. He stays in position, scrambles pretty well. He likes to funk, dive over the ankles, roll through, just keeps himself in those positions.
He did a real good job of staying alive in the last match. Again, the freestyle talent showed. He is a U23 national team member.
Yeah, he's one guy at Morgan State that does have a lot of experience. This is his 6th year, I believe. Yeah. 6th-year senior, transfer from Princeton. Spent 1 year at the New Jersey Regional Training Center with Reese Humphrey training freestyle, so he's been around. You're
gonna learn a couple of tricks from that guy, if not some good dance moves.
Got around a 500 career record, 22-24, so he has some experience here and definitely one of their bright spots in the lineup here for Morgan State. He was 2-2 at the Southeast Open, had a win versus VMI. And for Minnesota, Blaine Brenner was 18-11 last year, wasn't one of their starters last year, but he did take 7th at the Southern Scuffle down at 149 pounds. So obviously he's bulked up to 165, said the heck with that losing weight stuff. I'm going to eat, lift, and be big.
Give me a cheeseburger and a bigger singlet, I'll be fine.
I don't blame him one bit. So another solid guy for the Gophers here. He's 7th to Scuffle, 3rd at UNI Open. 3-0 so far this year, was a Bison Open champ. 3-1 on the season, 18-11 last year. So Minnesota just keeps churning out these guys, just solid every weight, ready to go.
And Marsh getting to that high crouch again right there, getting him right up on over his head, but
he's still in there, but we're scrambling on the edge. He got to a crotch lock.
That's the tough part. When you're finishing above your head, you got to make sure that other wrestler doesn't get his toe on the mat. That's why you really got to kind of dump him, because they're going to be able to defend like that. Once you get your feet back under you, it's a different game.
Hey, we're 2 minutes in and we're 0-0 here, Greg.
Yeah, that's progress.
Marsh is wrestling tough, hanging in there again. Kind of looking dragged there.
Now he's digging that hook. Marsh doing a good job of just keeping his head and hands in between him and his opponent right now. Again, I see he's doing a good job of hanging out. What's going to be the difference for Marsh is being able to kind of create your own offense. Again, we saw in the last one, he's able to scramble and move with, a high-level wrestler. But again, he needs to create those opportunities for himself a little bit more. And he's going to have to do that if he's going to beat a guy like this.
This is one match where Morgan State has the edge and experience in college wrestling time with Blaine Brenner being a redshirt sophomore here. So
you hope you can learn a thing or two in 6 years of doing anything.
That jump from 149, 157 up to 165 is a pretty big jump. We'll see how he handles it here this year. Looks like he's a tall kid, has the frame to put on the weight, and he's doing pretty well so far. Score right now is 0-0 heading into the second. Brenner's going to go underneath. Morgan State lines up on the right side. Oh, he steps back looking Peterson here.
Oh, well, standing Peterson.
I don't see that too often, Greg. Oh, he's going to drive across. And there's a reversal.
And we have our first score. But, hey, that was the first time we made it into the second period without a Minnesota takedown. So we will see what happens now. 2-0.
Minnesota
in favor of the Golden
right
Gopher.
back to work on top. They just grind pressure forward. Lots of pressure.
Minnesota with a slight lead in the duel at 27-0 right now.
Greg, like I said earlier, they're currently ranked 15th and 14th, but, rumors going around, which there's always rumors about this guy. Olympic champ Gable Steveson is rumored to be back in
that's a game
the Minnesota
changer.
lineup for the second semester. So we'll see what happens with that. But obviously, if they get Gable Steveson back, that's going to jump them up the rankings tremendously with his points at NCAAs. So
if he comes back, I think he's going to walk, man. I think he's going to walk through that tournament.
Yeah, like I said, there's always rumors around him, but from what I've heard, it sounds like he's going to be back in their lineup come the second semester, which he dominates pretty much anything he walks into. So that's a game changer when you have pretty much a lock first place. There's not too many locks in college wrestling, but
he was a cat playing with mice at the last tournament that he was in.
Pretty much. So it'll be interesting seeing what unfolds with that if he gets back in the lineup, which would obviously be a huge, huge swing for Minnesota looking at the team ranks this year.
Yeah. Number 1 at heavyweight right now is Penn State's Greg Kirkfleet, followed by Wyatt Henderson, again, 2 returning All-Americans. Actually, I think there's a good amount of depth back at that weight, but again, Gable's just a different animal.
So just looking at ways Minnesota can, work up the rankings throughout the year. I think 125 is another spot. That weight's pretty much wide open. I wouldn't be surprised to see Pat McKee get back up there.
No, that one's gonna be a war down there at 125. Again, Anthony Noto currently from Lockhaven in Mason's conference. The MAC is number 1, but again, I could see all of those guys winning that weight right now.
Yeah, that's another spot Minnesota can definitely jump up. Matt Ramos has dropped a couple early on here. McKee's been back and forth with Ramos, Barnett, DiAgostino. So that's one weight that could shift some points Minnesota's way come March as well.
Marsh electing to see what he can do from the neutral position. Down 2-1.
Minute 37 of riding time there.
And now we have our first match to make it to the 3rd period.
Wow. And he's hanging tough. Hats off to him. This is a good match here. Going a little upper body here with just freestyle background. I'm sure he's pretty savvy in this position.
Let it fly.
Hey, why not? Right?
Yeah. Feet to back. Sweep the leg, Johnny.
Looking for it.
Yeah, attempted that little throw over single with the underhook. Good attempt. Marsh really digging right there, but
he's holding his ground well with that underhook.
Yeah.
Just needs to try and get to a leg off of it. Little level change, throw by something to get to his legs here.
Yeah, Blaine Brenner doing a good job just kind of putting that hand right in his hip, not allowing him to kind of close the gap right there. And again, 2-1. The stats will be 3-1 right now with riding time being at 1:37. Not locked up yet, but got it in its back pocket. So Marsh down 3-1 for all intent and purposes.
Oh, he goes for a high crotch and got himself extended there. But he's scrambling. This is where he was last match. He was in this a couple times. But
couldn't quite get under that.
He's in rough
knee.
shape this time.
Oh.
Yep, we're in a Turk. Getting swipes. Yeah, he went to funk, but he got his hips trapped in there. Couldn't get all the way through. He's going to keep that Turk here.
Yeah, Blaine Brenner, his lower half stayed real heavy, so when he tried to cut under, those knees weren't moving. 30 seconds left, and again, just like that, we go from 2-1 to 9-1.
He's got that ankle trap. Kind of, Marshall got to try and crawl out of that. Yeah, he's going back to a hard crossface.
Nice little pop with that crossface. I heard that over here.
So I don't think he can keep the ankle trapped under there like that, but he's letting it go. I guess if he's working for near fall with it.
Yeah, I think they do give him some time to trap it.
As long as you're not just sitting on it there.
And that'll do it. What we thought was going to be our first regular decision of the day, or maybe even a Morgan State win.
Snuck out a major on that.
Yeah, one funk roll later, and we're 10-1 in favor of the Golden Gophers. Blaine Brenner with his 4th win of the year.